Hi, everybody, and thank you for watching the second episode of the Mr. Personality Show. My name is JAYPAC, and the second episode was supposed to be a little different. I had initially filmed with one of my close friends earlier today, but of course my laptop decided to run out of storage, and all the audio and footage was just like magically erased. So that was really exciting to find that out when I went to go sit down and edit. And I was just a little depressed after that. I wanted to take a break, and I was like, maybe I'll just do something tomorrow with them. But I was ultimately feeling inspired to sit down anyway, so here I am. This episode, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be talking about. I'm just going to be yapping. I am going to LA pretty soon for a little vacation with my boyfriend, who I completely forgot to talk about in my last episode. So I have been in a relationship for the past 3 years with somebody that I met whenever I moved to Ohio. His name's PJ, and he is amazing. We've been together for almost 3 years, and yeah, I just felt like I probably should bring that up at some point. I'm not going to make this like a relationship podcast or anything like that, but yeah, he's a pretty integral part of my life, and I was talking to him last night, and he was like, "Oh, I loved your first episode," and I was like, you know what dawned on me is that I like didn't even bring up that I was in a relationship, and he's so sweet. He was like, "Oh, I don't care, or whatever," but I care, so I love you, baby. But yeah, I think today I'm gonna be talking about a little bit what I've been going through for the past couple weeks. I'm kind of going through like oh God, I'm going through like a friend fallout situation. Yeah. Over the course of my life, I've fell out with a handful of people that I considered my friends, but this one is very recent. This was just like a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about it today on the first take of my podcast after I talked to my friend, just because it kind of sparked thought in my mind to talk about real friendships in my life, and fake friendships and temporary people that are in your life that are kind of there to teach you a lesson, I guess. This person that I fell out with, we were very close, or at least I thought we were very close. We live in very different areas of the United States, so I only spoke to her over FaceTime, but we spoke pretty regularly, maybe like 5 to 6 days a week. And we would speak for hours on the phone, and it's kind of fucked me up a little bit. In the way that like I almost don't know who to like call anymore because I have friends that will talk on the phone for hours and hours, and I have friends that don't answer their phone and don't pick up. So I have been just kind of like stewing in my thoughts over it, and I figured the podcast was probably a good outlet to talk about that, just to give me some peace of mind. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I'll just get into it. I had planned a trip to go see this person recently, and they lived by the water, by the beach, so I was excited to see them, and just like spend some time. It's the summertime and we wanted to be outside drinking and just laughing and having fun. But I probably should give a quick backstory to this person. Not too much, because I don't want to dox anybody. So, like, I almost did my whole entire family the last episode. But, and I know this person is going to see this, but I am kind of okay with that. I cold turkey blocked this person on everything whenever I got back from my trip, and I'll get into why. I probably should call this person, let's call her Marjorie. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, because no. I think she'll find that to be as a compliment. What can I call her? I don't want to insult her. That's not what I'm trying to do, but I guess that was kind of insulting. But I'll just give them the name Hannah. Hannah is a good middle of the road name. Yes, Hannah. So Hannah and I met at WVU. She was only a couple years older than me, and she grew up in the town that I grew up in. So I bet some of you can probably do some reasonable deduction. But we never really were friends in school. She went to the private school, I went to the public school, and we always would run into each other and be sweet to each other and say nice things and whatever. I was friends with everybody in school, at least all the girls ate me up. It was one night at a club that used to be called Annex, but we would call it the Slut Dungeon, which is very telling for what it was. It was like a deep basement. People that went to WVU know exactly what I'm talking about. It was like a steep set of stairs to get down, and as soon as you walked in there, if you had glasses on, immediately fogging. It was like a green room in there, like a green room of just rapey guys and blacked out girls. But I don't know, different time. This was before COVID. It was the only place that us underage kids could get a drink. So I think it's closed now. I haven't been to Morgantown in years, so who knows if it's open. I pray to God that it is kind of for the youth, but it probably should not be open. So I remember meeting this person, and I don't even know where all my friends were. I was kind of alone, and she was alone, and we were at the bar and we were drinking, and we just got to talking about our lives. And this person's pretends to be religious. Now I'm seeing that, or I've noticed that my whole life, that they pretend to be religious. But we were on the topic of religion and life and death and all that stuff. Deep conversation, honestly, for a drunken night out. Fast forward, she ends up staying in my dorm room that night, and we became I should have known after this that this person was fucked up. But Hannah ended up throwing up in my roommate's bed and ruining it, and that led to me falling out with my roommate, which at the time I thought was it was iconic. I was okay with it. That roommate did not like me anyway. I don't know how the hell that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So we became very close whenever I lived in Morgantown. Like I said in the last episode, I was partying a lot and drinking a lot, and this was kind of this person's lifestyle. Still is. So we were hitting it off in that aspect, and for a long time she was there for me and would listen to me, and I felt like she wouldn't judge me. But we've been friends ever since that moment. Very close friends. And like I said, we would speak on the phone 5-6 days a week. And then I don't know what happened. I kind of fell off a little bit. I fell off the wagon a little bit, and I decided to remove myself from Morgantown and, you know, my friends down there too, and like her being a part of that. But we've always been in contact. Whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just honestly a little anxious talking about it, but I figured a little bit of mess would be interesting for the podcast. I don't know. I'm not so much a messy person, but it can be brought out of me if I'm provoked, and I was definitely provoked in this instance. So, fast forward to just about a couple weeks ago, I went down to visit this person where they lived, and this was the first time I had seen where they lived ever since Morgantown, and that was last time. This was 6 years ago. The last time I saw how they lived and what they were doing. Even though we were talking like 5 or 6 days on the phone, I, you know, was getting glimpses of her life that I thought were maybe like played up, you know, like her kind of like flexing or whatever, like on the camera, or just because she wanted to like impress her new friends. And I was like game for it. I mean, whatever. It's not how I live my life, but that's definitely how she lives hers. So I decided to get on there and see her after she has like begged me, since she's lived down by the beach, to come visit her. And I had always been like, no, I'm busy. I was in school, like I just graduated, but my boyfriend was like, I want to get you like a ticket to see. And I'm like, oh, I can't say that name. Fuck. Hannah. I want to get you a ticket to see Hannah. And I was like, no. Like, that's too much. And he was like, babe, I know how much you love her and like she means to you. Like, let me just do this. Happy graduation. So I thought it was really sweet of him. Because he knows how much like my friends mean to me and how much like she had meant to me. So it kind of started from there, I guess. So I had been like, hey, I am officially planning a trip down. PJ is going to get me a ticket for graduation. Like, you tell me dates that are good for you. And they were like, okay, great. Let's do like, and we you know, we talked 4 or 5, literally every day of the week we speak on the phone. I mean, I guess I didn't take to granted that this person has like kind of drinking issues. Or just issues, period. But they were like, yeah, let me check my schedule, make sure everything's good. Oh, perfect. I can take off this Thursday and you can stay until Tuesday because I don't work on Monday. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Like, that's so nice. And then, so we're talking on the phone, and I'll come back to this later, but this was like maybe 2-3 days before I had went down there, and Hannah was like, oh, I have so much to do. I've been working so much. But I have to clean my apartment for you. And like, we used to live together like for a little bit. So I was like, oh my God, you do not need to clean your apartment. Like, that's completely fine. Like, don't like try to like impress me. I already know how you live, or so I thought. I already know how you live. Like, we'll be fine. Like, let's just have a great time. Don't worry about like, oh my God, are you sure? I'm like, I mean, if you want to clean. I'm not gonna like, you know, make you not clean. But they were like, okay, yeah, blah blah blah. So that got away the conversation. Fast forward to I am boarding my second flight to where this person lives. And I text them, hey, I am excited to see you. I know you're working. Can your friend so-and-so still pick me up? So I forgot to say this, but they were like, well, I'm working on Thursday, and I can have my friend so-and-so come pick you up at the airport. And I've met this girl on FaceTime through her a bunch, so I kind of feel like I know her. So I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like I'm so excited. I cannot wait to meet her. We like, don't worry about me. Like, we can just spend the whole day together. Like, So I'm boarding my flight, and I text her like, "Oh, what time is like, can you give me so and so's number? I want to see what time like she's able to get here. Like, if she can't get here until after she gets off work or something like that, I can totally just drink at the airport bar. Like, I don't care." Um, and I get like a message that's like, "Oh my god, I completely forgot to ask this person if they can pick you up." And I was like, "Oh, like I thought that was the plan, but okay, sure, that's fine. Like, shit happens." And she was like, "Let me call them. Let me call them." So Hannah calls so and so, and I guess so and so was out of town, and there were just no prior arrangements made. Whatever. I like was like, water off a duck's back. Who cares? That's really the least of my worries. I end up getting an Uber to her apartment, and she had sent me like how to get into her apartment and stuff like that, and how to let myself in. She's like, "Oh, I put drinks in the fridge for you, and you can just hang out there until I get off work." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that sounds fine." This wouldn't be an important detail to the story if I was talking about anything else or anybody else, but I walk into her apartment, and there is shit everywhere. And I feel bad for saying this because it does sound like I'm being judgmental, but I think it matters in the context of the story of how this person lives now and who they are now. So I get there, I'm like, "Oh," like I'm sending her like funny videos. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like spotless. Like you did such a good job. Like I'm so grateful that you like clean." That's how I joke. I'm sarcastic, and they're not phased by it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like I know, right?" I'm like, like, is this, you have to sleep here? So I go to the bathroom, and this person had left me a little present in the toilet before I got there. It was funny because, like, human error, whatever. None of this would matter if it were like if this person were still in my life and my friend, but I think it's funny to bring up because she's probably going to show her friends this, and I want that detail in there. Sorry, girl. Sorry, not sorry. So I land around like what I land. I get to her apartment around like 2ish. Um, and they don't get off work until like 8. So I take a nap. I'm like drinking. I drink like the whole case of alcohol that they got me, and they're texting me like, "Oh, we'll go and get dinner after that." So we went and got dinner and drinks, and ended up going to the back to her place, catching up, and we crash pretty early. And then the next day, she was like, well, it was actually that night. She was talking about her work schedule. And she was like, "Yeah, well, I have to work all day Friday." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you have to work all day tomorrow? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I came down here to see you." And they'd been like, "Well, and if only you knew who this person was." Like, I literally wish I could tell you who this person was, but I know I can't. Um, they were like, "Well, you gave me such a short notice. Like, what was I supposed to do? Call off work?" And I was like, "I thought that was what you wanted to do. I booked the tickets like 5 weeks in advance, girl. Like, you told me you were going to call off Friday and Tuesday. And you also said your friend was going to pick me up at the airport, but you never even made fucking plans." So I was like, "Okay, whatever. Like, well, what's good? What can I do around here?" And she was like, "Well, I have this friend who lives in my apartment complex that you can hang out with all day." And I'm like, "Oh, great. Like, okay, awesome. Like, honestly, if I have somebody else to talk to, like, I can keep myself busy. I'm not a little kid." So, and I get that I get that people have jobs, and I would never expect anybody to, stop their like way of income. But if you only knew who this person was. So I was perplexed as to why they didn't do what they said they were going to do, but everyone's human, everyone makes mistakes, and I give everybody the benefit of the doubt usually, so that's what I gave them. So I ended up having a great day with her friend. I mean, I had a great weekend with all of her friends. Honestly, they were all super nice. Really didn't know her too well because they were all newer friends, but I had a really good time with all of them. Better time with all of them than I did with her. So I have a great day with this person. Then Hannah gets off work and we meet her out for dinner. I'm with this her friend all day, and we went out to dinner and drinks, and it was around the time that Hannah got off work, so she came and joined us, and we went to a couple more bars after that, and this was like an all-day affair, like in the sun, drinking, me and her friend. So I was a little drunk, and then we went to like the last bar and got our Uber, and the Uber, they were her girlfriend was making plans with me to like go out, and I was honestly like maybe just tired, and I wasn't like super drunk, but I was drunk but not super drunk. I like was just like spaced off into my own world, like, oh yeah, like I don't know, I was just like, I had a long day. So she was talking about going out and drinking, and was like, well, not fuck Hannah. I can't make that again. So Hannah was like, you guys should go out. And I was like, yeah, of course, like we can go out. For some reason I was thinking about this was the next day. And then this girl like starts talking to the lift after we like it's out at our stop where they both live at their apartment. And I can't say their name again. I just said that. Fuck. It's okay. I'll cut it. But Hannah's like, you guys like have fun. I'm like, no. What? I was drunk. I made plans. I'm sorry. I want to hang out with you. Like I would rather go back to your place and it was like verbally berated the whole night because I quote unquote like embarrassed her so bad in front of her friend and she hadn't had a lot to drink, so I was like, like I felt so bad honestly because I was like, you're right, like I'm so sorry I did that. Like I was like completely like my head was in the clouds. I don't know why I said that, but I'm so sorry. Like, and then Hannah's like, let me call so and so, and she's like, she's not even answering me. She won't even talk to me now because of you. And I'm like, what? Like, oh my god, let me. And I know she's dramatic, but like she was being dead ass serious. Like, I was like, oh my god, well I have her on Snapchat. Like, and she's like, yeah, she's not even responding to me. And I messaged this girl. I'm like, oh my god, I am so sorry. Like, is flipping out on me. Like, I feel so bad for doing that to you. Like, that was not my intention. I'm tired and I just wanted to, be at place. Her filthy, oh my god, I can't say her name, at Hannah's place, her filthy place with her, because that's what I came down there to do. And this girl is like, I'm fine. Like, it's completely fine. Like, it is not a big deal. But Hannah decides to call other people and still make me feel bad about this. Now, this isn't even in like, this isn't even like the worst part of the weekend. Because at a certain point, I know that she's just gonna keep going and going and going and wants a reaction out of me, and I'm usually not I've changed to become a not a reactive person. So I just ignore it. She ends up apologizing because I don't give her a reaction. And I'm like, girl, I know, it's fine. Like, so we end up watching this movie and passing out. The next day, she only has to work in the morning. We end up just hanging out for the rest of the day. I think we went to the pool or something like that, and then we ended up going out. The second day was, pretty easygoing, nothing crazy. We met out a lot of her friends, and I ended up seeing one of my good girlfriends down there randomly at a gay nightclub, which was so nice and crazy, but that was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with Hannah's friends. Yeah, we just had a really good time that night. I had a really good time that night. But Hannah, you could tell her drinking is just like kind of a mess. And I grew up around that, so I know what that looks like when someone's a little out of control. So the next day is the real kicker. Okay, so this is the day we go and get brunch with all of her friends. We were, drinking mimosas, taking shots, eating good food, and we're all sitting at the bar. And I guess I hadn't noticed until we went back to the pool that people were saying that Hannah didn't eat anything at brunch, and I was like, oh my god, like here she comes then, like this is gonna be bad. But this person will never take no for an answer because they were never told no their entire lives. Really a shame that they still act like that, but like I said, I didn't know that this person still acted like that because we were only good friends over the phone for the past 6 years. Minimal meetups, but we would meet up. And I guess looking back, she did kind of get like that before, but this person's 30 years old. I would think that they were grown up enough. But she proceeds to get super wasted. I mean, we all do, but we all ate. We all ate food. I just spit all over my camera. Sorry. So a couple of her new friends come up that I don't know, and they're like, oh, we're going to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert. Do you guys want to come? And like, yes, we're going to that. We're going to that. I'm like, okay. And this girl's like, tickets are like super cheap. They're like $40. Like, you should get some. I'm like, okay. Like, I was like, Hannah, are you for sure gonna go to this concert if I buy these tickets? And they were like, yeah, well, I'm so down. I'm like, okay, well, we need to get food in you, and we need to go up and get ready. Like, okay, perfect. So I buy the tickets. It dwindles down the pool day. Then we go up, and she just keeps drinking. And it's kind of like unstoppable. I mean, at least for me, like I said, I grew up kind of around it. I find it like very triggering, and I find if you like intervene with people with substance abuse issues, then it tends to go the other way. So, and that's foreshadowing. So I decided not to do that. I was on my best behavior, honestly. Like, best behavior. Like, I don't even know what the fuck I was on. So we're getting ready to go, and this girl's so wasted, but I've honestly seen her drunker, and I know their limits. So I'm like, let's go out. I mean, we've been drinking the same amount. I'm a grown man, but she's a grown woman, 30 years old. 30 years old, you guys. So I call an Uber. She is so late to the Uber, it gets canceled. So her one friend's like, I'll drive us down there, the one who wasn't drinking. So we go down there, and she's passed out in the backseat. We're like, we need to get her food now. Let's go to a place. So we end up going to a place. Of course, there's no food. It's just alcohol. So she is like, I want out. I want out. Like a fucking drunk baby. And her guy friend that I love dearly, we had a great night after that, but he was like, no. Hannah cannot drink anymore, to the bartender. Like, we just get her a water. And she flips out. Like, you're trying to cut me off. You don't even know. And like, I'm drunk. I'm not trying to ruin my buzz. So I'm just ignoring her. She's like then grouping us in like, you guys, and whatever, you're drunk and you're a stupid bitch. Like, you'll forget about it in a second. So her guy friend and her end up getting into like an argument at the bar, and he's like, fuck this, fuck you. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? And he was like, Jake, do not deal with this bitch all night. Like, don't. Like, it's only going to get worse. Just come with us. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, I can't do that. Like, she's the only person I really know here. I came down to see her and spend time with her. Like, I'm not going to leave her, especially when she's drunk like this. Like, no, I should have. I definitely should have just been like, fuck her. But I have morals and I couldn't do that. So he's like, I'm not going to the concert. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, I get it. You know, she's a nightmare, but I'll go with her. So we end up meeting up again with more of her friends. And we were walking to the concert, and I could hear her talking about me. Like, how I cut her off, and I'm a piece of shit, and I'm an asshole, and stuff about my boyfriend, which I didn't appreciate, but I don't know how I stayed so calm. I don't know how I stayed so calm. I wanted to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, are you kidding me? I was supposed to see them before years ago, and they canceled. So I was, like, just so excited that I was down there and that they were playing. And we were walking. I hear her talking about me. And so I'm like, I go back there. I'm like, Hannah, like, do you think I can't hear you? Like, what the fuck what do you got to say? And it was just more of the same, more just talking shit. So I'm like, you really need to chill out. Like, these are your friends. Like, you're kind of embarrassing me. Like, relax. Like, girl, check yourself. Like, you can't talk to me like this. Like, so I think things calm down and we're walking, and then they heat back up again. She just runs her mouth, and then her other girlfriends are like, come up here with me. Like, you know, don't listen to her. Like, you're fine. Like, she gets like this all the time. Like, every time she's drunk, she always tries to argue with somebody. Like, and I'm like, does she? Like, I don't see that side of her over FaceTime. Only glimpses, but not the real thing. So we get there, and she's like, still talking about me behind my back. Like, I'm not so engaged in what she's saying because I'm in conversations with her friends, but I know that was happening. Because the way, like, a couple of her friends treated me after that, where, like, I was the problem, and it was just mortifying. It was mortifying. So we get to the concert, and we're like, let's get you food. Like, let's get you food. So she's like, oh my God, yes. Like, we're walking to get chicken tenders, and then she sees a bar. And I'm like, oh God. So I'm like, hey, can you get me a drink? Like, I got the tickets, just get me drinks and we'll call it even or whatever. Like, we get to the bar at the concert, and she gets me drinks. And there's like maybe like 6 or 7 of us. And then she starts berating me again about my boyfriend and my life choices, and how I'm not a good friend to her, because I told the bartender that I said this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, girl, like, at this point, please shut up. Like, I actually can't take you saying that one more time. Like, I'm going to explode. So there were an exchange back and forth where I saw completely red. She started yelling at me, so I was yelling over her. And then her friend or whatever, that fugly okay, that was unnecessary. But clock it. That's so mean. See, I don't like when this comes out of me. I really don't. But I just had it. This kid was like definitely being poisoned against me during this walkover, and that was when I first met him. So he was like, guys, break it up. Don't yell at her like that. And I end up like, kind of shoving him back. And I was like, don't get in my face like that. Like, you don't know me. Don't do all that. We've been friends for years. Like, don't even get me started. You just met this bitch. Like, so he backs up. She storms away. It's like, I'm leaving. And I immediately feel awful because I flipped out, right? Like, I definitely was being provoked, but I am a grown man, and I shouldn't have done that. But when you just get poked and poked and poked and poked and poked, like this girl's never been slapped in her life. So I wanted to slap her with a word salad about what I thought about her. And I kind of did that. So she stormed off and was like, I'm leaving. Fuck you. Change your flight. You're not staying with me. You're dead to me. Blah, 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 blah. We're not friends anymore. Just like being mean, like typical mean girl shit. So she ends up leaving, and I end up staying with some of her friends for a little bit until I ended up ditching them to go hang out with her guy friend that ditched us earlier at the bar. And we just spent the whole night talking our ish. He was telling me some really messed up things that she did, and I just saw her in a really different light than I've saw any of my friends. And maybe this doesn't justify me cutting her off the way that I did, me telling you this story, but I probably shouldn't say some of the real things that I think about her and that she's done, and that I have turned the other turned the other cheek as a friend. But yeah, for me in that moment, I was just done with it. I was getting constantly disappointed by her when I was down there, and then disappointed in the way she talked to me in front of people that I didn't know. Yeah, it was very disheartening. But regardless, I had a nice trip with her friends, not her. Um, so I ended up staying at her guy friend's house for that night because he's like, don't go back to that place. Like, she's a drunk mess. Like, just stay with me. So I stayed at his place until like 4 or 5 in the morning. Then I end up getting a lift back to her place. And like immediately as I set foot into that apartment, I kind of knew I wanted nothing to do with her again. I feel like that's kind of fucked up to say, but because I had another day with her, but I kind of had to do what I had to do. So the next day we go to the beach with her guy friend and his girlfriend, and I wanted to leave her initially, but then my better judgment was like, that's not very polite. Like, she's extending her filthy home to you in her shit-filled toilet. Like, you probably should invite her just, to be respectful. So I did, and we go to the beach, and she doesn't speak a word to me the whole day. She knows what happened, but she's a really good liar. And later on in the day, this was, we were at the beach for maybe 4 or 5 hours. And then we went to some bars after that. And I was only really speaking to her friends, not her. But her friends got up to go to the bathroom. And she goes like, hey, I, really wanted to apologize about last night. Was telling me about how I crossed, a line when I talked to you in front of like that. And I'm embarrassed and I'm sorry. And I'm like, honestly, it really has been weighing on me all day. Like, it's 6 p.m. Like, I'll let bygones be bygones. Like, but I was really upset about what happened. And I get that you were drunk and it happens to everybody, but this seems to happen to you way more than it happens to just anybody. And they're like, well, what happened? Like, I don't really remember. And I was like, I think you know that you remember, but I don't really want to get into it. And they're like, well, just tell me. Just tell me what I said. Tell me what I said. And I'm like, no, Hannah, like, I really don't want to get back into it because I'm going to get re-upset. Like, I don't want to get into it. And at this point, they knew I was, like, done, right? So they're like, well, I don't want you to get home and, send me a message that, you were really disappointed in what I did. And, like, I don't really want you to lecture me about it. And I'm like, okay, like, what do you like? I'm glad you're thinking like in what's gonna happen in the future, but like, really, that's your apology? So whatever. I end up telling her just a little bit what happened, and then we got in an argument. And she's like, "Oh, so it wasn't just me. It was you too. It wasn't just me. Like you were starting it too." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. Like you were like fully provoking me. Like no accountability." And then I told her I'd pushed her like that one of her friends, and she was like, "Oh my god, like I'm so like you embarrassed me by doing that." Like tried to turn it around on me, and immediately I was like, "You know what, Hannah? Think however you want to think. I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk to you about this anymore. Like we can just forget about it," which I wasn't going to, but I still had a whole other day, and I wanted to enjoy my day and not argue with a like stupid drunk bitch all the time. So we end up. This is a long podcast, you guys, because this is tea. Okay, like this is really tea. So the rest of the day, she does not like. We go out to dinner. She does not speak to me. Like we're at a dinner for like 2 hours. Her back is like this to me. I'm on the outside. She's talking to like her two friends that we go out to dinner with, not speaking to me at all. So at this point, I was like, okay, she's trying to punish me. Like she's like, I'm punishable. Like, girl, bye. So I knew in that moment, I knew in the moment before, the night before, that we were done. We spent that night at her place, and I wanted to make sure she was taking me to the airport. Yeah, I get to the airport, and honestly, I went to the bathroom, and this is so dramatic, but I kind of broke down. I was really upset to leave that trip, how it how, like I was upset about just like my actions too, that were of course in response, but I had seen a really like ugly side of myself whenever I was doing that. Like whenever I was yelling and I like saw red. I don't see red often, and my friends don't bring me there. My real friends, we don't argue. I've never had an argument with my friend. I mean, in any of my friend group, maybe years ago, small fights in high school, but like my friend group is elite, okay? Like elite. We don't argue. So, and my friend group didn't like this bitch. They've never liked this bitch. So I should have known. So I was, pretty upset in the airport. I had talked to my good friend, my good chica, Mary Rose, on the phone. Um, and she just heard me out and really made me feel valid. So I knew I wasn't crazy. And yeah, I knew that she wanted me to address it in some way. And I just didn't think it warranted. I don't think she warrants getting like me worked up. So I blocked that bitch on everything. I was just really exhausted by the end of it, and I don't want a friend like that. And if you are that friend to people that, are like blacking out and, taking out your insecurities on other people, I hope you realize that your friends are people that you should like genuinely cherish, because friends are hard to come by. And I don't think this person really cares enough about. I know enough about this person that after this weekend, I've really come to the conclusion that they're not a good person, and they believe in really terrible things. And I've always written it off as she doesn't have a mindset of her own. Um, And I don't know why I thought that was like excusable. I don't know. I think the people that know this person know what I'm talking about because they don't have a lot of friends. They have actually no friends where I live, where we grew up. None. She's chased them all away. I am still friends with it. I'm friends with everybody. You know, what can I say? I'm Mr. Personality, but I, yeah, I don't know why I thought necessary to share that story. Oh, I guess I do. Because that experience kind of led me to start this podcast because we were supposed to do something of this sorts together. And I'm sure maybe now some of you are oh, okay, now I get who it is. Which is not my intention, but I left that trip feeling really upset, but at the same time like motivated to never be like that and motivated to only actually put good things into the world and be a good person and try. I don't know. Maybe this is an oxymoron because I'm on this podcast dogging her, but like I said, we were supposed to do something like this together. So that's when I got home. I'm like, okay, I'm pulling the trigger. Like I'm no longer waiting for somebody who wants nothing to do with me and will never do anything with themselves when I want so much. So I don't want this podcast to be what this episode was, where it's like exposing somebody in this nature, because I don't see it as expose as me exposing somebody. I just see it as like a story that's kind of like led me into this direction, and I guess if I'm grateful for anything from this girl, I'm grateful for that. So I don't want to talk too long anymore because I'm looking at the timestamp and I'm really yapping. Like I said, in the last episode, the next episode we'll have a guest. This is actually like a good friend of mine that knows what I'm talking about when I'm speaking about this person. But yeah, if I could give like one lesson, if I could say one last thing to this person, I was gonna be like nice, but I don't really want to. I was gonna be like, I hope you change one day, and it's never too late to get help, and you can always, follow your dreams in any way. But I've known this person for too long to know that it's gonna go over their head, and I guess I'm gonna dead this person right here, right now, in this forum. So I hope you enjoyed listening, and I will see you on the next episode of the Mr. Personality Show. Yeah. I am not an asshole, you guys. I'm really not. I hope in due time you can see that. So, okay. Thank you.